Continue. We are still manipulating genes for therapy, for fighting infection, and for the creation of new sources of energy and sustainable sources of food. But the way we do this has entered a whole new world of advanced technology whose potential has not yet been fully explored. Genomics is a way of collecting and mapping complete gene data sets. It is an informed Salakia. It is an information gathering field that grew out of genetics and molecular biology. Science, science is concerned with proteins and genetic material, DNA and RNA. Genomics thus seeks to catalog the makeup and machinations of the molecules of life inside our cells. Just over a decade ago, the first readout of the chemical bases that make up the full human sequence of DNA was delivered, represented by different combinations of just four letters: A, C, T, and G. This is our genome. All of our genetic material spelled out in a string of 3 billion letters containing about 20,000 genes. Written out in a continuous sequence of letters of the size of a font on this page, it would span the distance between London and Rio de Janeiro. Let me see. And as we go beyond simply fitting with genetic codes already present in life on Earth, a new age of true engineering of genes is just beginning. Because once we can read the genetic code and begin to master its grammar, we can start writing it for ourselves. Esau playing at God, Daniel 12:3. In the future, we will attempt to design DNA that is more and more complex, opening a window that within the next 2 decades will undoubtedly see the creation of new life forms on the planet or the resurrection of those that have become extinct. And though it may sound less momentous both philosophically and evolutionarily, the use of biological code outside biology will become an everyday part of the world and home spaces we inhabit. After all, DNA is a code that replicates with anonymity, one that for nearly 4 billion years has been unrelenting in its response to a changing environment, adapting and diversifying without human instruction. But understanding the genome and then attempting to harness what DNA does with ease, self-learning, reactive, adaptive, self-replication, things that non-biological machines struggle with today. The interface of computing and the machinery of DNA will be revolutionized. Genetics and genomics of the future hold the potential to empower us through a greater understanding, as well as the capacity to manipulate our bodies and our and our environments, and through greater personalization of technology. So how will we use these advances, and how will we use our growing knowledge of genes and genomes? Here then are some of the technological revolutions that are shaping the new genetic age. Continuing. Resurrection of those that have become extinct, and though it may sound less momentous, both philosophically and evolutionarily, the use of biological code outside of biology will become an everyday part of the work and home spaces we inhabit. After all, DNA is a code that replicates with autonomy, one that for nearly 4 billion years has been unrelenting in its response to a changing environment, adapting and diversifying without human instruction. And that's Esau for you. You know what I mean? He want to say everything's billions of years old when the Bible doesn't state things have been billions of years old. By understanding the genome and then attempting to harass what DNA does with ease, self-learning, reactive adaptation, self-replication, things that non-biological machines struggle with today, the interface of computing and the machinery of DNA will be revolutionized. And that just proves one fact, that Esau really is a carnal. I mean, for the last couple of weeks, I've been hearing brothers bringing out how Esau, even the elder apostles, been bringing out that Esau is a carnal man. You know, he doesn't, you know, a spiritual man gonna take what the word, the Bible actually says literally. As for Esau, Esau has to search things out. You know what I mean? And that's where your belief and faith come into play. Like I said, at the end of the day, Esau got to go look up the bones and. But then they were also speaking on how Esau actually, he didn't convince himself that he was these people with the Bible. I mean, not the head elites, because the elites, they actually know who they are. That's why they commit and have their rituals and whatnot. But you get the lesser Edomites, the ones that's, the peons, like some of the ones that got affected in the whole thing when the government furloughed all them workers. Them people probably was, I ain't gonna say they doing better than most Jake. I mean, you got brothers in the camp, and most high is giving us our daily bread. I've seen dudes, you know, me myself, I got multiple felonies before I came into the truth. I caught a felony in the truth dealing with, my demon, you know. So at the end of the day, the Most High, I mean, I just didn't move. I wasn't circumspect. I wasn't moving with wisdom. That was my fault. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, when I take time to meditate on the situation and think about it, I could have. It was a very difficult situation, but nonetheless, you know, I could have avoided it. So, you know, but to show you how the Most High blesses those that sincerely believe this thing, I know dudes with felonies that all are working, like since it was decreed by Apostle Tahar that we gotta have jobs and whatnot. And like I had a job and now I got another job, and I just caught a recent felony. And anybody that is aware of how raw Esau is with this system, it's like just I know dudes that have been hustling all their life and then they get to the point where they was like, you know what? Shit, I'm tired of hustling, I'm tired of catching cases, I'm tired of missing life, of missing the world and missing the lives of my children and whatnot. So I'm gonna try something different. And they go try and find a job, can't find one, and then they resort back to what they was doing. Return them to their vomit. And at the end of the day, that just show you, Most High, you know. But if they would take the time and try something different and repent, because like I said, it's amazing. Like in the spirit, brothers talked about how this word has been passed around the whole earth, and it has to a certain extent, but you still got people that's coming up not knowing. And know what else I noticed today? I don't mean to be jumping around everywhere at the end of the day, but today we had I've seen multiple demons out when we were at camp, but today for whatever reason, there's a lot of demons out. And then all of them weren't demons, because when you take time to really listen to what certain people are saying, when they got them spirits on them, so, I've heard it was like 4 or 5 demons around us today at camp, and is one demon just stayed around, but they wasn't, the demon wasn't really scoffing at us. Actually, the demon was like reiterating what we were saying. It's deep. So it made it. I mean, the Most High could use a demon to even bring forth His will. That's why He controls the angels on the left and the right hand side. Continuing, genetics and genomics of the future hold the potential to empower us through a greater understanding, as well as the capacity to manipulate our bodies and our environment, and through greater personalization of technology. So how will we use these advances? How will we use our growing knowledge of genes and genomes? Here then are some of the technological revolutions that are shaping the new genetic age. And Salakia for that, because I realized at the end that I just read that. Detecting the genome. Not so long ago, even analyzing DNA, let alone sequencing whole genomes, meant using large, expensive machines housed in delicate laboratories. The draft sequence of the human genome famously took 15 months and cost around $300 million in the year 2000. By 2006, a draft of an individual genome cost $14 million. So you see how the price dramatically reduced. 10 years after that, it cost about $1,500 and could be completed within 2 days. Now sequencing is beginning to break out of laboratories and even out of the hands of geneticists. So they probably doing this shit in their homes. You know what I'm saying? Like a person that's on a level in Esau society probably got a whole laboratory in his house, in the basement. That's just like the dude, what's his fucking name? Jack Parsons. You go into Jack Parsons, which is a deep, I ain't gonna tell you nothing. Just go check him out, and you'll find out he died in his home. But when you go check him out, like he was considered on a level in Esau society. Jack Parsons. That's why you got, the Parsons Laboratory, and he's the one that's supposed to create the rocket fuel. And I'm gonna leave it at that, because if you go actually search him out and actually look up on him, you'll find out, he was off in the every fucking thing. Continuing. Rather than requiring massive machinery, the new sequencers can fit inside your pocket. Look at that. These devices cannot yet map your entire genome, but watch this space. Right now, they are being developed to study those genes known to be important for particular reasons, and doing it so in real time. Recent innovations can detect genomic data, for example, of a bacterium or stain or strain of virus infecting the person. This is already showing promise for public health challenges in the places they are needed the most. In West Africa, one such portable sequencing machine was used to successfully identify 148 Ebola virus genomes from patients. In this, in the field and future, this type of miniature user-friendly genomic technology aims to diagnose within hours and guide the treatment of viral infections such as corona, dengue, Ebola, I can't pronounce this one, chikungunya, and Zika. Yeah, you heard of Zika virus. Technology like this may one day be in everyone's pocket, much like a mobile phone. So they figuring, that's what I'm saying, they really have you trying to have you at robotic, like a robotic slave, because like now they're going to, think about that. So in the future, you ain't gonna go into no hospital. They want to have it in your pocket. So if something wrong with you, hit your own self with the shit. Like on that movie Upgrade, how he was getting administered the medicine from out of his own house. On an even smaller scale, we are starting to use semiconductors to detect DNA. Chris Tumazu of Imperial College London recently developed a chip that can be inserted into a USB stick that within minutes provides results viewable on any computer, intentionally steering away from the full 3 billion chemical bases of the human genome to the 1% that each of us differ from. By his semiconductor tech is creating our own biological IP addresses. Salaki is creating our own biological IP addresses. Wow, this is deep. So just imagine if they can, if you got your own specific DNA, and they telling you that they're gonna have a machine where you can put it in your pocket and actually upload any medication that's gonna fit your body. They probably could do other things to your body, just like that chip. Like I said, that people thought it was far fetched that the chip, once it's inserted in you, they can control your body. But why is it far fetched when in the movie Upgrade, as well as documented when I was reading out the what book was that? The last lesson I did. Can't think of the name of the book. I'll probably put it in post release, Lord willing. But I've never done that. But it was in my last lessons. It was a book I was reading about, and they was talking about in 2014. A chip actually made a man kick a soccer ball. So why is that far fetched that they can control actually your physical body? Intentionally steering away from food. Oh yeah, I read all that. Salakia. Different chips and USB sticks look at specific human genome mutations to check our predisposition to a disease, say, or how well an individual is able to metabolize certain medications. As Tu Mazu puts it, it will no longer be about a doctor looking at your medical history, but a doctor looking at your medical future. So, at the end of the day, I'm gonna stop right there, and that just proving that Esau gotta go. Like like that's deep. Esau gotta go because he just think he is he think he actually is the Most High. And that's why the scriptures say that. Like in Isaiah, say exalt itself above the Most High. Fucking devil. And with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory. Call hello Allah Yahweh by Yashim Yahweh Shah Waha Rakako Das Rakatha. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and sincerity, risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Shalom to the Akwaf and Akim out there listening and learning. Shalom to the Confusion of Faith brethren out there that's joined onto our ranks, as well as those that were hoping to join onto our ranks. And Adawan Ratazah coming to you with another lesson, Lord willing. And with that, shalom, shalom, and abad, babal.